Hello. Hello. You have just entered the Twilight Zone. Welcome. Hello. Today is July 31st. Or if there is no July 31st, then it's August 1st. I think it's July 31st. And today's Monday. And it's about 3 o'clock. And I'm sitting in the house by myself. Nothing else to do, so I'll talk on this for a while. My dad's home on vacation for 2 weeks. I don't know if I said this before. And I asked my mom, I said, how come he's not going anywhere on, vacation on the 2 weeks? And she goes, he's going to stay at home and see what you do during the day. So I just said, oh, what, he's going to get me out of bed? Like, assuming that I had thought, I wanted to project to her that what was going on in my mind as she said that was, oh, so you mean he's going to see that I sleep late and that he's going to get me up. But she meant that he's going to see that I get high during the day. Well, be that as it may, he won't see much at all. He'll just be very bored. So that's going to be, I guess, a little hairy for the next 2 weeks. But I don't know. I'll just stay cool for a while and I'll get by. I don't really know what to say. The other night, oh yeah, I might as well say this. Okay, it's about 4 nights ago. It's Friday night. I was out with Mitch. We were partying a little bit. Just driving around partying, I had some beer and stuff. And we found this old road. It's like this not abandoned road, like an old side street with almost no houses, a lot of trees and stuff. And they had these things set up, with the flashing lights on them. They were like detour signs or something, that you just stand up over a pothole or whatever, and they have blinking lights. And the lights were bolted down onto the stand, so you couldn't steal them. You rip them off. So me and Mitch decided we'd take the whole thing. So we opened up my trunk, threw the whole stand in there, and then boogied off. I thought it was hysterical. Stopped in at the gas station, and this one guy's roommate was there. And we showed it to him, and he goes, you should put it behind Steve's car. That's this guy's roommate. Now, Fletch was the guy at the gas station. His roommate is Steve, and he's going, put it behind Steve's car, man. So thought about it. I said, nah, I want to save it. So then Saturday night, we're out again, me and Mitch partying, same thing, drinking and stuff. And we come down the same street. We decided, let's take another one. So we do. And we have them both now in my trunk, and we cruise up to Steve's apartment and set him up behind his car, blinking away at night. And I went to the gas station last night where Fletch is working. He said, yeah, Steve found him, but I haven't talked to him yet. So that's pretty good. I want to see what he says about that. I think that's funny. So there's a little adventure in the life of Cameron Hughes. I'm seeing a concert this weekend. Yeah, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Got everything ready for it. Scored a little bit of dope for me and Joanne. She's got some too that we'll bring. And I don't bring it in the house anymore. And I don't buy nearly as much as I used to. I mean, I almost have stopped. But the little that I do buy, I hide somewhere else. I refuse to bring it in the house because my father said. He said to me when he caught me, he goes, you ever bring any of that fucking shit into this house again, I'll something like beat your head in or something like that. And but he said that if you ever bring any of that fucking shit into this house again, because it's and he's going, it's my house, so I will not bring any into his house ever again. So that is settled. And I think he still thinks I get high because when I want to use his tent on this camping trip I went on with Ray and Steve and Mitch and Frankie, a friend of Ray's, I asked him, I said, well, how come I can't use the tent? You're not going tenting this weekend, like he had told me he was. And says, you guys are going to be bringing that grass along. Who knows what you're going to do to that tent? Now, that's ridiculous. I mean, I will tell you right now, that is the dumbest, most ignorant thing I've ever heard anybody say about pot. Now, if we were going to ruin the tent at all, it would be because we were drunk. I don't know what he thinks happens to people when they're high, but you don't go on a violent reefer madness type spree where you want to rip things up and destroy them and you're out of your mind. It's just pleasant, it just gives you a pleasant outlook. It doesn't make you nutty or anything like that. If we were drunk, then I could see doing it, and it would be dangerous to let us have the tent while we were drinking. I'll agree with that. So for that reason and that reason alone, he should have not let us have the tent. But I don't know, that's really ridiculous. I was just reading today in some kind of thing that my mother picked up somewhere, Linguarian or whatever, some kind of religious magazine. And the cover it says, "What's wrong with smoking pot?" And I was reading it, and they say there are long-term effects, but everything in the article, by long-term, they meant that the THC does stay in your body over a period of a day. It stays there for a while, and it gets absorbed into your brain and into your body fats. But it didn't say anything about how it'll stay there. It will pass out of your body, just given a break. But they did say that it causes chromosome breakdown and cell damage. Now they say It also said that with age, some of your chromosomes do break down, but a heavy pot smoker, his chromosomes break down much faster. And I think that says something about maybe it causes birth defects or something. That's the first time I heard that, and I wonder if that's true, and I wonder exactly what chromosome breakdown does to you, because I want to find out about that. I do read about pot. I want to find all the facts, pro and con, even though the con I don't like to read, and there haven't been too many, really. And then they compare it with alcohol. And they don't, and they, now this is a Christian publication, and they say, now we're not going to say that either one is alright, because it'll be like picking the lesser of two evils. So this is a publication that's totally against alcohol and considers tobacco a drug, which it is. But they state, or they're writing about it, tobacco and stuff, and other drugs such as tobacco and alcohol. So it's hard to tell if this, I think the article was slanted. I mean, everything in it was against pot. And what was I going to start out to say? Well, anyway, the article seemed to be very against it, and the only thing that really seemed to state that seemed to be harmful was that the chromosome breakdown, which I've never heard before, and I just wonder what that does to you. Well, anyway, today's Monday, like I said before. Ain't nothing going on really right now. I'm just sitting around. I have a lesson tonight, and I'm going to practice, and I'm going to go to my rehearsal tonight, 7:30, which will be fun. That'll be okay. Something to do tonight, Jerry is out of the show. There's this one kid from college, Jerry, who's a senior, and I was a freshman, and he was like your all-around winner, kind of guy you'd like to be. He was good-looking. He was athletic. He was muscular. He had a good build, and was a beautiful, fantastic actor. Sorry, excuse me. And I must admit that I admired him, and that he seemed to see in me something that other people don't. Like, he seemed to think that I was going to take over the department when I was a senior, and like he used to say to me how, "I think you've come around this semester, my first year, how you've come around and this and that, and made an impression and made this and the other thing." And I don't know if that's it was weird, that he was telling me that, and coming from him, that was a real compliment. He seemed to really have faith in me for some reason, and I really liked that a lot. I was glad to hear that, and he sort of changed my outlook on myself. But now I'm starting to think that I don't care what people. It's like what people say about you won't change you. It's like you've got to believe in yourself, and not worry about what people say, because when you think about it, even our most popular popular presidents winning by landslides only won like 50% of the votes, because then they had like the other half of the votes were on the other candidates. So even the most popular presidents only win the favor of half the people. But when you go through life, you're bound, no matter who you are, you're bound to meet people that are going to disagree with you in what you are and what you believe in. So it's easy to say, but it's hard to do. It's like I have to get more open and more myself, and not worry about hurting other people's feelings or trying to please other people, in my personality, and the way I am, and just be myself. And I'll win. See, I'll win more. I'll win more friends that way. It's like the people that could care less what people think are the ones that have the most admiration, and that's really true. And if I could sort of adopt that as a lifestyle instead of just a thought, then I think it'd work for me a lot better. Because in the few instances where I have, just sort of let my hair down, and been myself, I have, I guess, won some good friends. But I don't know. I'm very uptight. I get very nervous. I get very tense when I'm around people. I'm never at ease around anybody except Mitch and my parents, I guess. I get very tense in my stomach. I tighten up in my stomach. Or my feet. I'll move my toes and like a straining tense. I just can't loosen up around anybody. It's weird. I'm so self-conscious at times that I don't know. I just can't control it. But I'm getting better, you know. It's like even when I talk, then I'll find myself, if it's not one thing, it's another. You know, if I don't tense up my stomach, then I'll find myself frowning for some reason, or smiling so much that my face just feels numb, or I'll just become self-conscious and I won't be able to articulate, or not to an extreme, just slightly, or it feels like I'm frowning it's just funny. I just feel like I'm frowning and I can't get my muscles going, or I can't really explain it. I'll be talking to somebody and I don't know what it is. It's just I'm worried too much about what people think about me and let that affect me. It's just very hard to open up around people and be myself. But I'm learning anyway. Well, I've been kind of rambling off here. I don't really know what to say into this thing. I want to keep it as a diary, which is a kind of cool idea, an oral diary. Just turn it on and listen to it whenever I feel like it. Let's see, anything important I have to say? Playing the guitar, I got a lesson tonight. I said that, come along okay. Nobody in the house. Keep on thinking that when they're gone for a day or for an afternoon, like yesterday they were on a picnic. They went on some kind of marriage kind of picnic. And, they went away, like around 3 o'clock they left. They didn't say when they'd be back, but I was sure they wouldn't be back by 6. I had to work at 6. So, I partied for a little bit. Came back to the house, listened to some records and stuff. And my brother came over, and he had been doing the same thing with a friend of his, girlfriend of his. And came back over. He was bullshitting for a while, and then went to work. But I keep on thinking that when they go away for a picnic or for a weekend one of these days, they're just going to be waiting down at the end of the street, for like an hour. And then they're going to come back to the house, and they're going to see the orgies that we throw. We don't throw any orgies, I'm just kidding. But it's like they're going to come back and bust us. They're going to come back and test us out. Now, they'd be interested, I'm sure, at what they'd find if they ever did this. And I get guilty, doing anything when they're not around. I think about that a lot. Well, it's like yesterday. I just kept on expecting them to pop into the house and saying, "Aha! Gotcha!" If at something. I wonder if they'll ever do that, because I know they suspect. They know I get high. They know well, they found my pot, so let's put it that way. No, I don't know what they think now, but they probably. I know they suspect that I still get high, so it's hard to live with them, but I do as best as I can. And I said something about before. I want to say something about that too. We used to fight a lot, We used to fight a whole lot. But these days we're getting along a lot better. We really are. It's like I was thinking to myself, if I could improve my family life, see the real me, see the me that my friends see, or just my acquaintances, like at school and stuff. I'm so different in real life than I am at home. It's weird. At home, all the bad in me comes out. I'll gripe and I'll bitch and I'll complain and I'm just really negative almost all the time. And when I'm out in the real world, as it were, I'm like as pleasant as I can be and friendly and smiling and stuff. And I don't like it. Thinking about that, I don't like that. It's like two phony images. What I have to do is combine the two lifestyles into one. It's like, don't be so bitchy at home. If I can accept my parents if I can accept them, and if I can treat them like people and get along with them, and if I have a complaint, tell them about it, just reason with these people, then that will change my home life. Like, I'm trying to make my home life more pleasant and more happy. And I think it's working out, and I think that'll also rub off on my real life. My outside life, I'll sort of like not be afraid to be bitchy if I feel bitchy, because I never explode, The only people I've ever gotten mad at are my folks, my brother, and Roy and Mitch, my 2 closest friends. Nobody else has ever seen me angry or upset. Nobody in the world. Just Roy and Mitch and my parents. And Roy and Mitch only because they're my closest friends. And Ken, sorry. Ken has seen me, like, pissed off. But usually people don't see that side of me. I hide that. I just can't be myself. I'm so, I guess, conscious about making friends. I don't want to lose them or something like that. So anyway, I started about my brother. These days we're getting along a lot better, and I see in him so many positive things. He's outgoing. He can. He's a bullshitter. He can bullshit anybody under the sun. He can, like I tell my friends, he can bullshit the Pope into being Jewish. He could do it too. He could be like a perfect salesman. My folks want to push him into salesmanship. He could be a door-to-door sales. He was on a newspaper thing one time or magazine thing trying to sell subscriptions, and he won and you win prizes for the amount of subscriptions you sell. He won a mountain of toys and stuff for doing this. This kid had, I don't know what he has. He has charisma, he has balls, and he's always been himself. He's like the opposite of me in that way. He's always no matter who he's with or where he's at. He's always and I'm different at home than I am outside, all right? But he's outgoing. He's kind of guy that walk up at anybody and ask anybody anything. He can talk to girls very easily. Has no reservations about talking to anybody. And I can see that in him, and that's a positive thing, and that's really something to admire. And because of that, I kind of get along with him, and I'm accepting him more. I used to be so negative around him for reasons. I must admit there were justified reasons, but not these days. I mean, like these days, he's growing up a little bit, and I can accept him for what he is, and we're getting along so much better. Plus, I found out that he gets high too, and he drinks like a fish. He drinks more than I do, but we're closer. It's like we're two brothers doing the same kind of thing in the same generation or whatever, in the same frame of mind, living with these parents who are also together in their own generation, in their frame of mind. And it's like we're sort of like becoming allies because we're on the same side, if you want to, try and go that deep into it. But we're just getting along a lot better these days. It's really good. I like him. I can see things in him that I really admire. I admire in a lot of ways, and I don't know if he knows it. I don't know if I should tell him that. He's the kind of guy that'll use something like that. That's another thing. He's always trying to con me into stuff. I don't like that. He cons everybody else, but he can't con me or my parents. And then, like, if he can't get his own way, he'll say something under his breath, which pisses me off most of all because I can't hear it. But he'll walk out of my room and say, or and I'll say what, and I'll just go and I'll just say nothing and walk away. He says stuff under my breath, and that really gets to me. But if he knows it, he'll keep on doing it. And why should it get to me? I should care less what he thinks. But which is true. I don't these days. But he comes in and he tries to get things from me. He'll con me. He'll try to con me into getting stuff. And even if there's no reason why I shouldn't give it to him, I won't if he's going to con me into it. I will not let him con me into anything because I don't want him to have that edge. If he asks me for something and it's if I think there's no reason why I shouldn't let him borrow something or use it, then I might let him. But if he tries to con me and to control me into doing something for him, then forget it. I don't like that at all. I don't want him doing that. I don't like being controlled like that. So I'll refuse or whatever. I just won't let him have it. And he must see a lot of times that I'm a bitch because I'm bitchy. I don't let him borrow stuff. But there's reasons behind it, I don't like him trying to con me. Maybe I am a little bit too bitchy. Around here, around the house. Well, I feel like I've said a lot here. I'm running out of things to say. My profundity is wearing out for this session, or this entry. I didn't even turn off this tape recorder once since it's been recording. That's good. I've been streaming out all this stuff. It's because nobody's around. All right, it's about 3:40, 3:20. And I got guitar lessons to practice and food to eat. And preparations to make. I have things to do. Are you kidding? An important guy like me without things to do? What time does TV go off? That's a Steve Martin thing. Well, anyways, how about we close this for today? And talk again on this thing some other time. I don't know when. Some other time.
Perhaps we should take the skeleton.